Welcome to the U World Order Showcase Program, the platform dedicated to highlighting visionary entrepreneurs and coaches who are shaping the U World economy. Each week, we're celebrating the power of the individual and coming together to uplift and empower one another to reach new heights of growth and prosperity as we showcase a coach, company, or entrepreneur stepping out to be the change they want to see in the world. With our collective efforts, we're creating a world where every person has the tools to realize their full potential and thrive like never before. Join us today as we chat with this week's guest to learn how they got started, what they're doing, and how they're making a difference in shaping the U World Order.
Hi, and welcome to the U World Order Showcase program. Today, we are in for a real treat as we get to interview Cathy Inman. Cathy has lived in Dallas since 1984. She is married to her super supportive husband, Chris, and has a beautiful daughter, Kaitlyn. With a degree in criminal justice psychology, she was a paralegal for many years. But after having Kaitlyn, she found time freedom and in network marketing with Discovery Toys, Inc. When Shuffle by Elify launched in 2017, Cathy immediately saw the power of the product and teamed up with its founders to learn, train, and network Shuffle by Elify. She is currently the master trainer for Shuffle, having grown the user base and trained customers all over the world. After building her networking base in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area, Cathy expanded her reach when she opened the Plano, North Dallas chapter of an international ladies networking group called the Polka Dot Powerhouse. Don't you just love that name? Her chapter has grown in its 2 years to 60 members and is in the top 10 chapters nationwide. Cathy and Chris' Heart Project is a nonprofit Little Souls at Rest, founded by her friend Jenna, who needed resources after a miscarriage in 2018. Little Souls at Rest's mission is to provide immediate burial needs to mothers and families suffering a loss of a baby up to 20 weeks of pregnancy. Cathy serves as a local director in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and Chris serves on the board of directors as well as the VP. Cathy is the go-to connector when you want to leverage technology in a unique way to connect people and business opportunities. With that, let's welcome Cathy Inman. Welcome, Cathy Inman. Too much C. There can never be too much C in our world.
Oh my gosh, you're so sweet.
You were talking about opportunities. Speaking my language, girl.
Yes, absolutely. Well, because that's how we started, right? I mean, it's so cool. I love that we just kind of found each other on this online networking, which is how people just drop into everybody's world all the time. And then, talking about making new introductions, I just made an introduction to somebody else before I got on the call with you. And it's just, that's how the world should go around, right? All the time.
And it's it used to be that you had to go to events, and you can still do that now.
Yep.
A couple of years ago, but you can now.
Yeah.
You can do so much just from your computer. If you're out in the country like I am, you can still meet people from all over the world, and literally all over the world.
All over the world. Yep.
So fun these days.
I love that. No, and I do both. I mean, I do both every week. I'm out, I'm in, but again, if you're not open, and I'm not talking about being open to the salesy, people that just DM you and you're like, hey, I want you to do something for me, or, whatever. I'm being open to a conversation, right? Because and be the one who also wants to open a conversation. That's the other tip, right? Is you can't be the one who goes in salesy as well. So if you're open to a conversation, you're open to where it's going to go, and you have a path. I mean, obviously, have a path so you know kind of where, what you're going to talk about and where the conclusion is going to lead you. Are you a new friend? Are you a new referral partner? Are you a new business partner? Are you doing collaboration? Where are you going with this? Mm-hmm. But be open to the conversation and make a new friend.
And Elify, which is one of your many things that you do that I do want to talk about, because that's how I found you, was through the cards and the networking group that they have on Wednesday nights, at least Wednesday nights right now.
Wednesday nights right now.
Tell everybody about that, because it is just so super cool and so easy.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And I was actually talking to one of the co-founders earlier today, and I was like, hey, I don't want to steal your thunder, because the U economy is like his thing. He loves talking about the U economy. Mm-hmm. It's one of the reasons they created Elify and Shuffle. But to me, it's like, so it's here's what's funny. It's a digital business card platform, but it's so much more, right? And so that's why I love to talk about it, because it is just a way. It's a way to start the ripple effect. And that's what I really love about it. So when I first got introduced to them, it was back in 2017, and somebody sent it to me, and I started pushing buttons, which I love to do. And I was just like, this is really cool. And they're like, well, it's intended for network marketers. And I was like, okay, I see that, but I can see how it's intended for a lot more than that. So we say it's a digital business card, but it's also landing pages. It's just really a simple to use, super cost-effective marketing system in your pocket, right? That's really what it comes down to. I always say it's like
you don't need a website, you don't need anything,
right?
And if you have a million websites, like some of us, then you can put them all in one place, and you could have different cards for like different things that you're doing, so you don't overwhelm people when you're networking with them.
Absolutely. Isn't that so true? Because we do, again, most people I meet are not just doing one thing, right? I don't do one thing. They don't do one thing. I've actually met a gentleman one time at a networking event. He was like, I need 12 landing pages. I need 12 business cards. I was like, wow, that's a little excessive, but that's fine. We have direct sales. We have network marketers. We have affiliate marketers. We have people that work a 9 to 5 and do stuff on the side. You might be a banker who bakes cakes on Saturdays or gives guitar lessons, or maybe your kid's in Scout, or maybe your kid's a babysitter. Who knows what they do? We still all market things for them, right?
Yeah.
Why not do it and have a little professional link for them to send out? I mean, it's
for so professional people. You're talking about the banker. Sure. Bankers need business cards, and business cards online are the wave of the future. Nobody keeps paper anymore. They keep it on their phone, and you have the cute little QR code. So it's just like scan it and go. Scan it and go.
Scan and go. But it's true. And I mean, I don't know. I don't remember what call it was on. It may have been after one of the networking calls. Actually, we had somebody stay on and tell us that she had had somebody scan her QR code after a networking event. She had to race home for something, so she didn't really get to have a long conversation. Mm-hmm. But the person ended up contacting her from her scan, and ended up being the highest close of business she'd ever had. So you just never know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen with the person you just met, right? I mean, that to me, that's part of the thrill. Like, we just met a couple weeks ago. We're on together. Get to know you better. And I'm in Texas, and you're in Idaho, and who knows what the ripple effect that this conversation will have. And that's just so thrilling to me.
And who it's going to touch, and how it's going to change different lives of people we may never even meet.
Yep. And that's the whole point. You don't have to meet me. You don't have to meet you, but you hear one thing and you're like, wait a minute. Maybe I'm a mom at home who really wanted to turn it into a t-shirt business. I met this gal networking one time. She's like, I just started my company. I don't have a business card. I don't have a website. I have nothing to share. I don't even know why I'm at this meeting. And I'm like, it's okay. We can help. Like, A, I can help you with that, but B, just being out and doing that thing for you, right? If this is filling a cup for you, if it's you need it financially, you need it emotionally, you needed something for yourself, you needed something that wasn't about your kids, whatever it is that gives you the joy to do it, that's the most important thing. Then let's go from there. Then you continue the journey. So, absolutely. I mean, that's the part I love too, is just like, you're probably talking to somebody about their passion, right? And
Yep.
and then it just lights them up and they get all excited and they tell you all the things, and then you're like, let me share share what you do with the world, because that's what we can do. That's what you have the power of doing here. That's what I have the power of doing with networking and Elify. It's just so fun, because then you just help them be a better version of themselves.
Yeah. And they contribute to the U World Order, which is all about small, close, local, just individuals touching other individuals and moving the energy around and making the world the place we want to live in, instead of the place that we're just here, we're cogs.
Little puppets.
Yeah.
We were not put here to be puppets. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, shout it from the rooftops. You meet people at things too, and then there's like, oh, this is who I am and this is what I do. And then you really get to know them there, and you're like, wait a minute, you do like 7 things. Like, you're really good at whatever, cookies
Making
or
bread.
guitar or making sourdough.
Yeah.
I make sourdough bread. My husband and I love to make sourdough bread. But it's like, and we do this all the time. I mean, literally, without even thinking about business, I have a friend who has chickens. They have eggs. We make sourdough bread. There's an exchange. They love the bread. We love the eggs. Everybody's happy. The world is happy. I didn't have to go to the grocery store for eggs, and they're lovely and wonderful. And, it's just like, that's the way it's supposed to be, is like, figure out what the handshake is in the world that you're supposed to be making, and continue to make that handshake over and over and over. Like my bee lady. I have a lady that makes wonderful, she has honey and little goodies and all this stuff that she makes from scratch and sells it out of her home. And I tell everyone about her because she's amazing, right? Why would you not share about someone that you meet that does something so cool?
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be like this big, huge, elaborate thing. I have a friend who sells microgreens at the markets, the local markets. That's great.
It's so cool.
It's so cool. And her kids get involved. They make these little bracelets and little hearts out of yarn, and they're so cute. And sometimes they bring their goats so they can have a little petting zoo, and they sell a little bit of feed so people can, hang around the booth a little longer.
Absolutely, of course. But that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. We have a kid I'm addicted to Nextdoor app. I love to see what my community is doing, and that's who I'm trying to support, and that's who I'm trying to, introduce people to, or make introductions of people I already know. And there's a little kid down in one of our neighborhoods who's selling ladybugs for your garden, and I'm like,
genius.
You know what? I don't know that I need 1,500 ladybugs. But you better believe I'm going to go buy 1,500 ladybugs for my tomato plants, because I want that kid to know that you are doing something that makes a difference.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it too. That is just like, it's the thing.
It should be the thing, right? It should be the thing.
We're making it the thing.
Absolutely.
That's the thing. So let's switch gears a little bit. You want to talk about the polka dots?
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about. I have so many fun things that I just get to do so many fun things. So, Polka Dot Powerhouse is an international connection company for ladies. It is. I am the managing director here in Plano. It has been around 10 years. It's out of Wisconsin. Yes, Wisconsin. It's somewhere cold. And started by a lady named Shannon Crotty. She has a fantastic story. Grab a tissue, go to the website, listen to her 3-minute story. It is so sweet and so heartwarming. But I got to, again, networking. I met someone when I was working at a table at a conference, and she came up to me. We started chit-chatting, and she was like, have you heard of Polka Dot Powerhouse? And I was like, no, but what is that? I need to hear about whatever that is. It sounds amazing. And it just makes you smile every time you say it. And it was just, yeah. And so fate, again, I was a big networker here in Dallas, and they were like, of course, there's not a Dallas chapter. And I was like, me. So I applied for that and opened our chapter in March 2019. We are growing like crazy. We actually just got our 80th member here in Plano. So we have 80 members. We have, I think, close to 3,000 members worldwide. So we're actually a worldwide company. So we have online meetings, offline meetings. And again, I get to have fun with my girlfriends, meet new people, introduce them to each other. And you hear this buzz, like it's just this amazing sound that happens every month at the meetings where people are talking and laughing and sharing and crying and hugging and holding each other up and cheering each other on. And it's just the coolest
Genuine
thing.
connection.
Seriously.
You can do it online, you can do it offline, but it's interacting with other human beings and finding out about them because everybody has something special to offer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we call it a connection company, not a networking company, although we are very much networking, lots of business shared, lots of collaborations going on, but it really is about coming to the heart, right? When we're in our meeting and when we're chatting, we actually don't pass business cards during our meeting time, very intentionally, because we want to be there to listen and to really intentionally figure out, what does that person need today, or how can I help or lift or cheer or whatever it is. And we always celebrate ourselves and we celebrate what's going on in our lives together, and it's just really fun. It's an honor to be able to connect these wonderful ladies and just get to know them more.
Something called polka dots. I mean, how could that not be fun, right?
Right. I'm telling you, every time you say it, you're just like, I just smile. I'm like, I always tell people, I'm like, it's the silliest name for this thing it just brings joy. It's really, and I mean, that to me, that's really the whole point. And I think that if we can find the people, some people have joy. Some people are kind of stuck in the muck, right? And some people need some joy in their life. And so if we can find the people that have excess and help the people stay out of the too much muck that are in it, and find the people who need a little extra in their lives, and you stick them all in the same room, the energy that happens in that room is absolutely amazing. And my desk is full of them. I've had people send me cards and thank you notes and just give me just here. It's like llamas. So we always talk about the no drama. We're no drama llama. I have llamas. My entire house is full of llamas. My husband's like, how many more llamas can we fit? I'm like, I don't know. But if they keep coming, I'm going to keep keeping them, because it just reminds me that somebody needed something one day, and somebody in the group was able to give that to them. And because I'm willing to figure out what we're going to do and where we're going to meet and what we're going to do every month, I'm just I always say, if I'm 0.00001% responsible for something happy that happened in your life or your family, your business, you walked away in a better mood, whatever it was, I'll take it. I'll take it.
It's really about giving. You get stuff back, but that's not the point of any networking that you ever do. Nope. Any connecting that you ever do. It's always from a place of giving. You give, and in return, stuff just happens. It does. Almost like magic.
It does. Oh, the karma is amazing. I always say, throw out that karma boomerang, put out the good karma so that you get good karma back.
Yeah. And you don't have to go about sending the good karma out with an agenda. It's just be there.
Just be open to whatever opportunity comes your way. I mean, again, I've had people where I just met somebody at a table at an event, ended up with an introduction to the next person, and ended up with one of the, again, same for me too, same kind of story, ended up with one of the biggest introductions to a team of people that I've had the pleasure to get to know, to train, to help them build their businesses, and has made an everlasting effect on my life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just one person touches another. Let's touch a little bit on your nonprofit, because I think this is really special. And I think it's something that I know from personal experience. I'm older, so I've known a lot of women who've had babies and had miscarriages or had stillbirths. And as traumatic as that is, and it is so heartbreaking when you go through that, and most people don't realize the impact it has on the mom. Even though this child never took a breath, you still have that connection. When 100%. I was reading through what you were doing, I was stalking you before.
That's fine. That's
part of what
Shovel does for you. It lets you stalk people.
But I think it's an amazing service that you offer. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. My heart project. So in 2018, matter of fact, my very best friends, we met networking. You'll see a theme throughout this entire talk. We met networking. It's really funny. We always laugh when we tell each other. So when we met each other, she was Norwex Jenna because she sold Norwex, and I was Digital Card Cathy because I sold digital business cards. So that's what we were on each other's phones. Okay, so fast forward since 2018 when we met. Like I said, she's one of my best friends. So she was pregnant with her third child. It was going to be her first son. And I remember her telling me how they weren't announcing early because she had had 2 miscarriages before. So they were really nervous. And so finally they announced that they were having Michael. And the night before my birthday in 2019, I was sitting on the back porch with my husband, and I got a text message from Jenna that they had lost Michael and that she was going to have to deliver him. He was 17 weeks. She was 17 weeks pregnant, and they lost his heartbeat. And so she had to deliver him, and he was perfectly formed, and he was a precious little baby. And instead of holding him and consoling her 2 girls and her husband and herself, they had to find a way to bury him because the hospital was like, all right, well, we'll just take him now. And she was like, no, absolutely not. We want to bury him. And so the rule is that in most states is that he's not considered a baby because he's under 20 weeks gestation. And so you have to find a way to bury what's called product of conception. Mm-hmm. And so she and her husband hit Google, and that's all they could do is start to Google and find somewhere that would pick him up. So basically convincing a funeral home to pick up what's not considered a baby and hold him till they could figure out a final resting place for him. And so after that whole fiasco, she did find this wonderful gentleman that came and picked up Michael and had him buried. He's not far from here. We care for his little plot for her. And she was just, I remember she called me. She's like, no family should have to go through that. You shouldn't have to be sitting in the hospital figuring out what you're going to do and how you're going to take your baby home and either cremate or bury your child. And so we created a process. So it's called Little Souls at Rest. I'm the director here in Dallas. My husband is the vice president and sits on our board. She and her husband run it with us. She's since moved to Florida. I miss her all the time. We just actually got off phone a little while ago. But so I hold down the fort here. We've now buried in about 15 states. So basically, we own a crypt here in Dallas, so you can bury in our crypt. We also have a fabulous funeral home in Pilot Point that works with us if you want to bury in ground. We do have cremation services. And then if you're not here in Dallas, we are basically your advocate. We will call and talk to the hospital, the nurses, whomever you need us to explain that you can take your baby home or you can have your baby buried. We'll help you the best we can. I think there's only been one place that we haven't been able to find a resource. The best we can, we will find you a resource in your area and find and get all the process in place to bury. And we've been able to help military families bring babies home from Hawaii to the States. We've been able, it's just been absolutely amazing. The people that have come across our path that we have been able to help in a time of need, which again, just goes back to me. I just like to help people. And this was one that I can tell you I never saw coming. It's not my story. It's Jenna's story. But we all, like you said, we all know some family that has gone through a loss, and to be able to have an answer for them when you say, what can I do? Mm-hmm. At least, you can send them our way and we can maybe help them.
And being able to know that there's a process before you actually go in to deliver the baby.
Yep.
So that you're not sitting there at a time when you really just want to be focused on saying goodbye.
Yep.
To like how can I keep them from just becoming trash, for a better word, because that's what they consider it in the hospital, and it's not.
It is.
It's it's your precious child
and most people don't realize that. And it's so hard to explain that to someone, but it in most cases, the baby becomes medical waste under 20 weeks. So that's why our niche is very specific. We are 20 weeks, a loss of 20 weeks and under. We have other nonprofits we work with. There's lots of nonprofits that work with stillborn and loss over 20 weeks. But our niche was that loss under 20 weeks, when it's sometimes again, we have to advocate, because the hospitals and the nurses don't know that we can take the baby, take the remains, and help the family bury. Yeah.
That's an amazing heart-based, wouldn't call it a business, but networking.
It's just, I would say it's just my heart project. It's one of those things. And it's been amazing. Like, we started the nonprofit in 2019. We were supposed to do a fundraiser in 2020. I know it's always
sorry.
I know.
I couldn't wait any longer.
I tried. I know. We tried to do a fundraiser in 2020. Of course, that got shut down. So this is actually our first year to do any kind of fundraising. And they always say, like, the first 5 years for a nonprofit are the hardest. Our nonprofit has been blessed over and over and over. And every time we're like, woo, we're really starting to get down, all of a sudden, miracles. I mean, just things just hit our bank account. We're just like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? Where did that come from? And I mean, absolutely just exactly where, what Jenna was supposed to, she was built for this. It's exactly who was supposed to run it. It was exactly who was supposed to found it. She's amazing lady.
And we will put links below for anybody that wants to contribute. If anybody knows people that need your help, that will all be available to our listeners below. Is there anything that you want to share with people, a takeaway from what we've talked about? I mean, just like sum up all about Cathy.
It's just so much. I think it just goes back to what we talked about earlier. It's just be open. I think sometimes even for me, even all these years into networking, I'll go to meet somebody and I'll be surprised, right? The conversation doesn't go the way I think it's going to go. I think they do this, or I know they do that. And I think we're going to talk about XYZ, and we talk about, ABC. And I'm just like, wow, I really thought this was going to be what we talked about. But because I'm open to whatever it is that the conversation leads to, I just kind of follow the path. You know what I mean? Like, follow the path. Don't go too far off the path. I get it. We all have time restraints and our lives are busy. But it's like, if you let somebody share what's on their heart, you really get to know the person better and quicker. And then you can always go back to the things you thought you were going to talk about, right? Mm-hmm. And just be genuine, be open, and just, keep the path going, the two-way street, and make connections. If you say you're going to make a connection, make the connection.
Yeah. Just have that as your intention for the day. If all you do is connect with people, the world will be so much better.
Yep. Yeah, because I mean, nothing's bad. I mean, you can do, all right, that was 30 minutes I lost. I write that one off. Something, what I thought was going to happen didn't happen, or maybe it just wasn't a good connect. I've had those conversations too, where you're just like, well, it was nice to meet you. But you still have that person. They're still in your network. Mm-hmm. I always tell people, even when you join my chapter, I may not be your best friend. You may not think I'm the bee's knees. That is fine, right? I am not here to entertain you or be the person you have to connect with. I'm just the person who brings all the people together and puts the glue out there and sticks them all in it doesn't have to be about me. It's not about me, right? It's about what's going on for that person in that moment. Mm-hmm. And just be okay with that. Because that person's going to come in and out of your life and in and out of your circle. But if they don't
might not be for now.
Circle, it may not be for now. Right.
It may not be for later.
It may not be for you. It may be for the person you need to introduce them to. right? That's the other thing. You just may be a conduit. And if you didn't hear that, you're not open to the conversation, then you weren't even the conduit and it stopped with you and you stopped the process of what was supposed to happen. So just be open and listen and hear what's going on around you and help people. That's really what it comes down to. Just help other people and they're going to help you because then I get to meet people like you.
And I get to meet people like you.
I was like, why aren't we networking online? They're like, we got to start a thing. So we started a thing.
Yeah. And it's a great thing. I enjoy it so much. I will put all of your links below so people can find you on Elify. They can find you in the Polka Dots. What is the name of it again? It's
Polka Dot Powerhouse.
The Polka Dot Powerhouse. I should probably use the correct name so people can actually find you. Because if they Google polka dots, I'm thinking they're going to get the little pink thing.
Who knows what they're going to find, right? Could be anything.
Could be anything. Okay, so Polka Dot Powerhouse and the Little Souls at Rest.
And
that's us. Want to contribute to that, great. If you need resources that they have, great. It's all about making connections, and this connection has been amazing, Cathy, and I look forward to what we'll conspire to do in the future.
Right? Who knows what's coming up in the future? I love it. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you having me and letting me just chit chat with everybody.
Oh, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for tuning in to the You World Order Showcase program. We hope today's episode has inspired you to consider how you can leverage your unique skills and talents to be the change you want to see in the world. If you're ready to take the next step and turn your passion into a 5-figure part-time business, we invite you to schedule a private consult at heartlifecoach.com. During our Passion to Profit Breakthrough session, we'll work together to identify your strengths, clarify your vision, and develop a tailored plan for achieving your goals. Don't settle for mediocrity or let fear hold you back from pursuing your dreams. With the right guidance and support, you can build a thriving business that brings you joy, financial freedom, and the opportunity to make a positive impact in the world. Head over to heartlifecoach.com today to schedule your Passion to Profit Breakthrough session and take the first step towards creating the life you've always wanted. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on the You World Order Showcase program.